Okay, so here goes. I have in front of me here a decant that Dan, Mr. Smelly, gave me, Office for Men. So that's the Jeremy fragrance release, perfumer Alberto Maria. So I think we all know everything about this fragrance now. And I have Alexandria's Boardroom, and this was a sample that's been sent to me by someone that owns a bottle of Boardroom. And Boardroom is, as you can probably imagine, a clone for Office for Men. So I'm going to compare them side by side. We start just by comparing the opening notes. I'm going to do one on each wrist and I will compare them. The one thing I will say is I don't really understand the need for this, because in my view, if you want to support Jeremy, you will buy a full bottle of his fragrance. And if you look at most of the reviews out there for Office for Men, they tend to all agree that it smells like quite a nice, well done designer fragrance that most people say they would pay between $50 to $80 for. That it's not that different from a few other fragrances. A lot of people say it smells like a mixture of a few different very popular fragrances like Aventus, Sauvage, etc. So I don't understand the need for a clone in this instance, but apparently it's selling very well in the USA. I'm now going to spray one on each wrist. So on huffing both wrists, they are very, very close in the opening. I feel like Office for Men has a slightly more masculine, kind of darker base going on. Something just a little bit darker to it, almost like an ebony wood or a little bit of patchouli that's coming through, more so than Boardroom, which feels just a bit brighter. I feel like that pineapple-y opening is gone almost immediately. So in seconds, neither of them now smell pineapple-y. That was just very much in the opening notes. Both are very loud, certainly at the moment. Obviously we have just sprayed them, but they are very, very loud. Both of them remind me of quite a few men's designer fragrances out there. They're not bad. I don't dislike either of them. I think they have a mass appeal. That's why people buy these very popular fragrances like Sauvage, because they are a very popular smell. They smell masculine, they smell clean. They smell kind of green, both of them. So I'm smelling Office for Men at the moment. And I'm thinking Radox Bath Foam. So the green one. Oh, it might even be, yeah, it's a herbal one. It's a green herbal bath foam. That's what it's reminding me of, with a warm kind of woodsiness to it. Boardroom is still smelling a bit fresher, almost like if Office for Men is a green bath gel, Boardroom at the moment is reminding me of a blue bath gel. Not exactly aquatic, but in that blue vein. Very close, not spot on, but very close. Usually with a clone, the opening is where they differ the most, and it's usually when they get a bit further in, the clones start to become a lot closer. So I'm going to take some notes and come back in a short while. Okay, so half an hour's gone by now, and I am noticing some differences in both fragrances. So we have Office for Men here and the Boardroom here. So let's go for the Office. To me, this is stronger on the darker notes, the woodsy notes, the what I detect as an ebony type note, and a hint of pepper. So it's a lot more of that going on, along with this sort of herbal green Radox bath gel, like that, just that generic clean man shower gel smell. It almost reminded me a little bit of the Axe body sprays, just that general masculine clean smell, but with this darker woodsy base. The citruses aren't that strong anymore in the Office. Over this side, interestingly enough, I feel like the pineapple has come back. So when I first sprayed both, instantly the air smelled a bit pineapple-y, but that pineapple note left both of them very, very quickly. And it's almost as if I imagined it. But now, in the Alexandria fragrance, it's smelling a little bit more pineapple-y and bergamot. So it's like bergamot and pineapple together, fused together. On top of a much lighter woodsy base, a much less obnoxious woody base. I feel like I can smell ISOE Super in here and not so much in here. This Alexandria one feels lighter, not in a weak way, just more transparent, less punching you in the face, and slightly less typical shower gel man body spray. I mean, that element of it is there, but it's almost like it's 50% of what it is in here. If I have to be, I promise you I'm being honest. Now, I know there's going to be Jeremy fans out there that think that I'm a hater or that I'm biased or whatever. I promise you, I swear on Sweetie's life, where is she? She's over there somewhere. I swear on Sweetie's life, I'm being honest here. I'm not hating on Jeremy at all. I did do a video, reasons not to buy The Office, or I always call it The Office, I do apologise. It's Office for Men. Reasons not to buy Office for Men. I will link that video below. If you actually watch it and don't just read the title, you'll see there was no hate directed at Jeremy whatsoever. And I did follow it up with reasons to buy Office for Men. So there's no hate, it was clickbait. I'm openly admitting that, you know, got me a few views. So I earned my 50p. Thank you very much for watching if you did. But there's no hate here. I am just giving you my 100% honest opinion. And I feel like the Alexandria version is a more palatable, lighter, more translucent option. But to me, it almost feels a bit like an Aventus clone, where Office for Men doesn't. So I think they're at this point still not that close, although they definitely have a lot of similarities. I was just thinking as well, another reason maybe why some people are buying the Alexandria one is because they can't sample Office for Men, and they just maybe want to just get an idea of what that might smell like, so they can get in on the action a little bit if perhaps they don't want to fork out for a full bottle. So that's one reason maybe why people are buying the Boardroom. Yeah, this reminds me of so many kind of Aventus type clones, whereas Office for Men is much more like a clean kind of herbal green shower gel, bath gel, but with a dark, very dark woodsy base, perhaps like a combination of patchouli and dark woods. But you can smell some of the freshness of the bergamot still, but it's quite toned down now. It's much, much dissipated. So at the moment, they are still quite different. This is not a spot on clone, and we are, as I say, at least half an hour into the wearing. So I'm going to take some notes. I've got a lot to do today. Got the dentist, then I have to go to work where I'll be doing a 12-hour night shift. So I will try and do a further follow-up, but so far they're not spot on. But I probably tend to prefer, for my personal taste, Boardroom. However, it does remind me of about 1 million Aventus clones, and the pineapple vintage of various Aventus things that came out. It's kind of reminded me of all the things that Dan, Mr. Smelly's had me smell over the years from pineapple vintage and other Aventus clones, and Jeremy's fragrance, not so much. So I'll come back to you in a bit. Right, so I've got a bit of an update for you. It's now 8 o'clock. I sprayed the fragrance at 2 p.m. Obviously my left wrist is Office and my right wrist is the Alexandria one, the Boardroom. And I have since been to the dentist and I'm now at work in my toilets here. And I walked into work and I was stood at the desk just getting logged in, and my colleague across the other side of the office said to me, "Claire, I can smell something a bit cologne-y." That was her words, cologne-y, like men's cologne. Now, she is a chemist, or her previous work has been in chemistry. She's actually worked for a perfume company before, and we often talk about perfume. So she knows I'm into fragrances, and she is herself as well. So she initially, straight away, picked up that there was a men's fragrancy smell in the room. Probably we're about 4 paces away from each other. I had her smell both. I said, "What do you think?" She smelled my right wrist first, which is the Boardroom, and she said, "Yeah," you know, she was kind of like, "It's okay." And then she smelled my left wrist, which was Office, and she kind of pulled a face. She didn't particularly like that one. And she also said that in comparison, Office was much stronger. So the Office was a bit overpowering, a bit too strong. So that was her thoughts on it. What I'm noticing now, so we are talking 6 hours in, and they are both now much, much closer in scent profile, but it's taken this long for them to become similar. So in terms of, is Boardroom a good clone for Office? I'm sorry, but the answer is no. It's close now, but it's taken nearly 6 hours to get close. The Boardroom, to my nose, is more palatable because it's not so strong and it's not so obnoxious. But Boardroom to me has mostly been an ISO-y super, you know, that musky cedary smell, and kind of a hint of a fresh pineapple that has remained throughout most of the wearing. But Office retained more of that herbal shower gel type smell. Started out with the darker notes, like the darker woods. That kind of went away, and now Office is also smelling mostly to me of ISO-y super. I'm just gonna have a little sniff. Yeah, mostly ISO-y, but does retain some of the freshness of the bergamot. And I do wonder if there's a bit of pineapple in there as well. It just feels like a bergamot pineapple combination. But it's interesting, it smells like that now, but it's taken a while for it to get to that stage, whereas the Alexandria smelled like that almost all the way through. So you can see that it's trying to copy Office, but it reaches different stages at different times. What do I actually think of the fragrances? I'm sorry, but I'm finding them both quite annoying. Office is stronger and it's getting on my tits. I want to scrub it off. It's just getting on my nerves. I'm really sorry. It's it's obnoxious, and I feel like fragrances that dry down to what smells to me like a massive overdose of ISOE Super. They feel a little bit lazy. I know perfumers rely very heavily on things like ISOE, but it's a bit overdone now, and I can understand that it might smell nice to people, and I've got Eccentric Molecules, Molecule 1, and I enjoy it from here and there, but I feel like it could be a little bit more interesting. It could be a lot more interesting. I'm going to reserve, I'll come back with my final thoughts. Okay then, so it's now 10:30, so 2 hours after my last little update, and basically both fragrances now smell extremely similar to each other. There's just a slight variation in pitch, in that I would say the Office is slightly deeper pitched, just has a slightly darker note to it, but they're pretty much the same. They mostly smell like ISOE Super now, both of them. And if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a powdery cedar, musky cedar shavings, wood shavings. Not unpleasant, just as I said earlier, nothing exciting at all. So I thought that it's only fair that I get another opinion, and we've got a young girl that works up here, and I went to see what she thought of both of them. I didn't tell her anything at all, so I didn't even tell her they were men's fragrances or anything. Her name's Lauren, and she's about 22, I think. So I asked her what she thought of both of them, and she said that they were very nice, both masculine, but that the Office, the one on my left wrist, she said was much stronger and more masculine. But I said, but do you like them? She said, yes, both very nice. And then I told her that the one on my right wrist is supposed to be a copy of the one on my left wrist. And she said, yes, they do smell very similar. But she could clearly tell there was a difference, because she said that one was stronger and more masculine than the other. So that was her opinion. She thought they were very nice. So my conclusion here is that these are mass appealing, masculine fragrances that are okay for the non-fragrance aficionados. I don't think they are pleasing at all to us snobs. They're just not cutting it, either the clone or the original. I think if you want to support Jeremy, you should go ahead and buy his fragrance if you feel that strongly about supporting him. If you want an amazing fragrance that's value for money, my advice would be to check out some of the indie houses, and there's loads and loads to check out there. And I would say, if you want something unique and interesting, that's the way to go. If you want something mass appealing but affordable and totally Office safe, a perfect one is Jean Barbatos Artisan Pure. It's not so obnoxious, it smells more natural, and it's not too loud, and it might not last quite as long, but you can always just do a surreptitious respray at lunch. I just think that one's really nice. So for my 2 pence worth, I'm not really a fan, I'm afraid, of Office for Men, but I also feel like the Alexandria clone isn't really, just doesn't seem to have a lot of point to me, as I explained earlier. So unfortunately, I'm going to end it here, because I'm going to scrub my wrists now, because I've had enough. I'm finding both fragrances a bit obnoxious, a bit boring and overbearing, so it's time to scrub my wrists. Thank you for watching. I look forward to your comments on this one. Let me know if you've tried either Office for Men or Boardroom, and let me know what you think. Thank you and goodbye.